what we're going to be touching on today is a topic that a lot of people can relate to. It's why things that feel complicated are better than things that are actually simple and repeatable. But the truth is, actually, simple things that you can repeat over and over again are better than stuff that is overly complex or complicated. We are constantly scanning and looking for the perfect system, like, for example, the perfect diet or the perfect morning routine or the perfect productivity method. A lot of that is just a waste of time. It'd be much better to just focus on mastering the basics, because most of the time the problem isn't that the solution is too simple. Like, going back to using diet, for example, how many of us have went to, and this is before you can just Google something, or AI something. How many of us have went to like WebMD or just went to different blogs and watched YouTube videos on how to eat, what you should eat, or maybe even talk to your doctor, and your doctor told you to avoid certain foods and to add certain foods. And so what do? We try to figure out the perfect recipe, meal frequency, meal timing, and all that kind of stuff, when we can just boil it down to, okay, I need to make sure I plate every meal with some protein, regardless of your diet, vegan or carnivore, whatever. I need to have some type of fiber. I need to have some type of fat. And, for us that don't look at carbs as the enemy, I need to have a small or moderate amount of carbs, depending on your health goals. That's it. It's really simple. It's like, it could be stupid proof. I'm going to have 6 ounces of chicken breast, for example, for lunch and dinner. I'm going to have like 2 cups of broccoli and then have some butter or olive oil on it. That's something that you don't have to think about, but it makes it real simple. But we're complicated. It's like, okay, how can I make some chicken Alfredo? I don't know, something fancy. I'm not a big foodie, so I couldn't tell you that. But I'm just giving it as an example. Or to use the morning routine example. The thing is to just set the purpose, in my opinion, from what I understand, is to just set your intention for the day. Like, what's the trajectory that I want my day to go as? So with some people, that's waking up and praying. Some people, that's waking up and meditating. Maybe you get up and do some stretching, or have some water, get some movement in, something like that. Really simple. We don't have to do anything that's overly complicated. It doesn't have to look like something that we'll see on social media or Instagram reel. We don't have to do all of that. All that complexity can come later, and touch on that in a little bit. But reason why we don't do these simple things, like I said earlier, stupid proof things, is because simple feels too easy, and our brain doesn't reward that kind of stuff. So we'll assume that effective things should feel complex, if that makes sense. It feels like, if it's simple or too simple, too easy, then we'll dismiss it. I'm thinking right now about, if I want to lose weight, the main way to do that is to reduce calories, right? So overall calories. But when you do that, one of the side effects is that your metabolism, I won't say it slows down, but your body tries to conserve, so you will move less throughout the day. So yeah, you put a 500 calorie deficit in, right? But now your body is trying to find ways to conserve energy. So you're moving less, you're doing less work, you're doing less fidgeting, whatever. So a way to offset that is to get more steps in. But that sounds boring, so to walk around your block for 20 minutes, especially if you don't have any headphones or something to distract yourself, that can seem boring. To do that over and over again, or to find ways to increase sleep, maybe put the phone down or whatever. Everybody has different things that's going on, but you find ways to get more sleep in. Excuse me. Or drink more water. Just the simple stuff is what I'm saying. This all this is boiling down to is little simple things that are repeated over and over again compound. It's not just something that only the complex things are what change your life. In fact, I would say the other way around. If something's overly complex, we're more likely to abandon it. But again, the trap is that complexity feels productive. Doing simple stuff doesn't feel productive. But that's the trap. Like starting a new plan. It's going back to some of the other videos that I've talked on this issue. Planning and thinking and researching, all of that feels exciting. We get a little dopamine hits. Like we start to feel like a promise is coming true. Researching feels like progress. So if I get on Google and I ask all of these different questions, going back to weight loss, if I read all of these different blogs, or I get AI to generate a weight loss program, all of that feels like I'm doing something. But it's really just another way to avoid taking action in the long run. And again, it can show up in a lot of different ways. Trying to find a perfect supplement for weight loss rather than calorie deficit, eating less and moving more. And I'm just talking about, so this is not a shot across the bow saying for everybody, because there are people who have health issues. But generally speaking, if you don't have any health issues, like losing weight boils down to eating less and moving more. It's really that simple, regardless of the circumstances. And building, like for productivity, finding a way to build a perfect system, but not doing any work, or maybe constantly consuming information but not applying it. So that was me for a long time, and now I seek out ways to give my brain evidence that I apply and act out the things that I've learned instead of just consuming. Because not taking action is going to leave you right where you're at. So it's not about a bunch of intensity. It's not about being perfect. It's usually simple, repeated actions. It's just the consistency thing. It's just doing the same thing over and over again until you get the results or you become the person that you're trying to become. So just doing it over and over again. Instead of asking myself, what's the best method? I ask myself something like, what's a simple thing that if I do over and over again, if I'm consistent with, would actually work and make changes in my life? Because that's actually what a breakthrough is. Hey, thank you for your time.